everybody, what's going on? It's Dave Williamson of the Meet Dave podcast. Thank you for everybody who has been messaging me lately and coming out to shows. I know we took a couple weeks off, so I've been getting those messages, and we got a fresh batch of episodes that I'm really excited about. This week, I am currently in Winnipeg, Canada. I'll be here all the way till Saturday night. Come out and see me at Rumors Comedy Club. December 27th, it's a Wednesday night. I'm going to be at the Orlando Improv, headlining that club. Awesome club. And last time I was there last year, doing the exact same date when I'm back home in Florida visiting family, it sold out. So buy tickets early and come out. Let's have a fun time. December 27th in Orlando. And then in Florida still, middle of January, I'm doing the Merman podcast, my other podcast with my buddy Forrest Shaw. We're going to go do a live podcast at the Sunshine Comedy Festival there in Tampa and St. Petersburg and everything, and do a couple comedy sets throughout that festival. Check out my full calendar, DaveWilliamsonComedy.com. If you haven't already, order some Meet Dave Rub. It's not too late to get some for the holiday season. I will try to ship it out to you ASAP, but check it out. Good stocking stuffers. And I'm really excited about today's episode, man. This is a dude that I found on social media. I've just been a fan of watching the stuff he posts. I think you guys are going to really like him. I'm excited to introduce you to him. Meet Cody Lewis. Cody, I'm super excited to have you. I hope this isn't like a intimidating way to start, but you're not necessarily specifically a barbecue specific creator, but
no.
but I wanted to have you on because I'm a fan. Like, I really truly enjoy the content you upload, and I was like, man, I want to talk to this guy. I want to get to know this dude.
Dave, thank you. That's crazy to me because honestly, a lot of people ask who I would like to work with and collaborate with and talk to, and my answer is usually I'm not big into the food people. It's more the comedians that I feel like I relate to and enjoy and would like to chat with, and like it's really cool to hear that you watch the videos and enjoy them. Well,
so you're doing what I should be doing. Like, that's what I think I relate with so much, because you do, food instructional videos. You do, like it's everyone's doing different versions of, recipes and stuff in short form content, but you infuse so much humor into it and creativity. And I mean, down to the one where the one I just saw the other day was, I think it was your wife or your girlfriend or something. It was like holding you up like Weekend at Bernie's, and you were making something. Yeah, bro. And I'm just like, dude, that's the stuff I want to do, And it's a blast too. So like, I don't even prepare for any of these. I just get a prompt from somebody who comments shit, and I'm just like, my lady has like a full professional job and shit too. So I'm like bothering her from that shit to be like, hey, could you tie your wrists to my wrists and fucking puppet me around? So she's like taking a break from her day to do this shit. And it's just worked out. It's been fun. And I never expected it to turn into this. It's just kind of happened randomly and naturally. How did it start? Do you have a background in food or culinary background at all?
So I think we're a lot alike in the fact that once we get curious about something, we get a little obsessive. From what I've watched of your stuff, once you get into something like what you have with barbecue, you have to go all in and try to figure it out. And that's kind of how I've always been. And my mom's like an amazing cook, has always gone all out for everything growing up and shit. My grandma was an amazing cook. My brother started like a food page in California, and I was his photographer and videographer for a little while. So this idea just kind of started bubbling, and I was like, you know what? If I could make a living being home and cooking shit and having fun, then let's fucking try to give it a go here. Yeah.
Were you doing this kind of stuff before the pandemic, or is this something that kind of sprung? That's what a lot of people's story is, obviously, is they leaned into it during those years.
Yeah, so I honestly, I kind of screwed myself missing the pandemic years to start building this stuff, to be honest with you, Dave. I didn't realize till like after shit started getting cleared up, we all started getting let back out and was like, oh, wow, I really botched that. Yeah. And that's when I started.
I should have used that free time.
Yeah, like, oh man, everybody was looking for this type of weirdo shit. I should have been doing that back then, but no, I started after. I was like a wedding videographer, and I was working for like different product companies and stuff like that, doing their video and photo and focusing on that end just because I knew it was guaranteed. And then I just realized it wasn't. After you shoot a few weddings, you're just like, all right, I'm out ski on this thing.
Yeah, wedding videography is such an interesting like lifestyle choice because you're two things. One, your existence is highlighting other people's happiness. So it's always about someone else, not you. And then also the stakes are so high because you're not allowed to, if you mess up 1 out of 100 weddings, you messed up someone's their most important day.
Yeah, dad turns around to see his beautiful little bride daughter, and I'm not there to nail the focus. It's a real shit show out there.
Yeah, and then you got to pretend like it was an artistic choice, and
like, oh no, the blur, it just highlights the fucking moment or whatever.
Well, what I've read too is that I looked at the stats on it, and there's a alarmingly high amount of people that no matter how much they plan their wedding, like they're totally unhappy with it, and it's a strain on their marriage. Like it's a really
Is your buddy getting married soon?
Luis is getting married, and he is like his existence has been planning this wedding. It's a year away, and this guy spends every day planning this wedding, and he was just on his phone. Dude. And as I was saying that, I was gonna see how long it took him to look up, and he finally just slowly looked up at me
like it dawned on him.
Hold the fuck up,
dude. I've seen a lot of sausage made, so I feel your pain on that one, Luis.
Gay weddings is what he's saying.
Yes, that's what they call them in the industry, seeing the sausage made.
What? So did you have a little bit of a grasp on TikTok and Instagram before you kind of lead? Well, so just for people who don't know, it's Cody Tries Stuff. Let's start there. Awesome name. And I like that it's not specific. That's when I started doing this, I didn't want to be like Barbecue Dave or Pitmaster Dave. I wanted it to be Meat Dave, not just because of the wordplay of me meeting people, but because I wanted to have the ability to have guests that were butcher shops owners, pitmasters, restaurateurs, just comics who love eating, barbecue or meat. Like I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. So Cody Tries Stuff doesn't necessarily pigeonhole you into just doing food stuff. I've seen you do like cocktails and some other subject matter. So it's kind of it tells you who you are, but it doesn't pigeonhole you.
Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what I was going for, man, is trying to keep that all open because I'm a pretty ADD person. And like we were saying before, once I get curious about something, I have to kind of dive into it regardless of what the subject matter is. So I was like, if I want to do some other random shit or show about videography or anything like that, I could also try that stuff. Or if I want to do food reviews, that also is another thing that's going crazy right now that Cody Tries Stuff kind of worked with. So I figured let's go for it.
Yeah. And I'm always very careful to not claim that I'm an expert. I didn't go to some, culinary school or slave in a restaurant for 20 years earning the stripes, so I am very obsessed in this world and I have put in a lot of hours. But I don't want to insult people who have really got the formal training or the blood, sweat, and tears and that. So Cody Tries Stuff suggests that you have some expertise and you can get really great, value from what you're saying. But it also is just like, hey, man, I'm trying it out. It's not like,
that's
hey,
the thing.
It's not Cody dominates stuff. It's Cody's, hey, man, I'm willing to give it a go.
Does stuff or whatever. Yeah. I'm mostly just slamming my head against walls until they break down, really, is how I view it. Where it's like, all right, this is the one that's gonna finally break this down and give me the understanding of it. And also, I didn't want to be like a lot of people put like chef, whatever. I'm not a chef. I've never led a kitchen, and I would never want to disregard how those people can put out tons of dishes at once and lead a whole team of people. So that's not something I was interested in. Yeah. I want to show that I'm just a dipshit, and if I can do it, then you can hopefully do it too.
Yeah. And you're living in New Jersey now, and you were in San Diego for a while, you said. Better food scene?
Yeah, you're in LA?
I'm in LA, yeah. Yeah, I'm over on the west side. Yeah, west side. And I end up down in San Diego a good bit because my kid plays, there's a lot of comedy clubs down in San Diego. So I go down there to do shows. And then also my kid plays sports, and seems like we have to go down to Orange County or San Diego.
Water polo, right?
Water polo, soccer. Now my other son's playing volleyball.
The coach.
It's it.
Dude, how do you like coaching?
Coaching's the best, bro.
Yeah, it's cool.
Coaching is an interesting role. I would say one, because you have a lot of influence on on people, you know, like I know when I was a kid, coaches,
children too.
Yeah, well, coaches made a big impact on me when I was a kid because, you know, your parents, even if you have awesome parents who like really like, you know, are there for you and give you advice and, you know, are good people, whatever, they're still your parents. So when they tell you something, you're like, you're just saying that because you have to, because you're my mom, you know? And teachers are probably the people or the authoritative figures that kids are exposed to the most, besides their parents or relatives. But a teacher is still, it's like, hey man, it's a very like formal relationship. But a coach,
you don't know where the line is. Yeah,
like a coach, you like, look, we have this thing in common that we both love this sport, and there's like downs and highs, and there's like striving to be your best, and like we want the best. So it's just a really cool relationship that you can build with somebody to have a positive impact on their life, you know? So it's cool. And I never had like by the time I found water polo, I had some really cool coaches, but I never got into a situation where I could get some like high level coaching. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, it's like kind of making sure that I give kids the opportunities that I didn't have as far as knowing what was available to them of maybe playing in college or just like reaching goals, you know, in high school and whatever it may be.
And do you feel like you got it all on lock in terms of like keeping it together with not saying anything that could be out of like, because that's what I was worried about. I have a very small filter in between my brain and my voice. So I was coaching youth wrestling for a little while, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be dropping too many F-bombs for this."
You learned the filter. I have a harder time in comedy going from like now podcasting is so prevalent, you know, that we don't really do radio that often. And every now and then when I do morning radio, I have to like really think like, don't say an F word, you know, like that's harder for me. But coaching, like I've been doing it for so long, and you know, you just learn what's appropriate and what's not, and your brain filters it.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't then, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I love that you're interviewing me on this, by the way. These are all things I want to talk about.
Like,
and nobody ever asks, you know? Nobody ever asks.
Nah, I feel uncomfortable with that shit. Conversations go both ways.
You know what my favorite thing is, dude? My favorite thing is when I get to combine multiple worlds. So like my world, other than like my family and the obvious stuff, is like comedy, barbecue, and water polo. Those are the three things that are my passions that I've chosen. I could have had a much more lucrative, I would say, day job or things I could have done as a career. I had choices and opportunities, right? And I decided that the thing I didn't like about doing those jobs was that it took me away from my passions of what I felt like I was put on this earth to do. So the fact that I do get to spend my time doing those three things that I'm passionate about, I don't take lightly. And I love when I get to combine any of them, right? So now I have a comedy show that I run here in El Segundo, and I sell my own barbecue at the comedy show, right? And with water polo, same thing. Water polo, I like to cook for the kids, you know, like if they have a big win or something, I'll tell them like, yo, Friday, we're doing pulled pork. And the kids are like, yeah, they look forward to it all week. And then at the end of practice, or I bust out a big brisket and like on the pool deck.
Dude, how the hell are you managing this when it's so time sensitive to have a comedy show that you got to be on the stage at a certain time, but you have your brisket done at this temp, and or like your beef ribs have to be done at a certain temp, wrapped and sauced and it's wild.
I'll tell you what, man.
Crazy.
These Cambro boxes that they make are a game changer because barbecue will always benefit from resting. You just don't want it to get cold. You don't want it to get to the point where it's growing bacteria, right? But if you just time stuff out, I always give myself more time than less time, obviously, right? And you know, you get it done within a couple hours window. Then you just throw it in the Cambro and it stays warm and it's good to go whenever you get to where you're at. You pull it out, slice it. And my Jeep, my Cambro sits right in the back of my Jeep, and it's so funny, man. I don't even take it out anymore because I just got tired of pulling it out and putting it in because I was cooking for so many different things. And so now it's like I'm coaching water polo, and it's like I know it's time to go out. And I just pulled it. My whole Jeep smells like barbecue. You
constantly have the timer in the back of your head.
Basically. I'll go pull it out and start slicing up on the pool deck. And I got a cutting board that lives in my Jeep too, man, it seems like. And
you're turned into like a human meter.
Yeah, basically, I'm a food truck. I just go around and slice brisket everywhere. But I love it, man. I'm trying to find more and more ways to incorporate barbecue and comedy. I've done like, the show in LA, and I've done some stuff on tour. I sell my own all-purpose seasoning and rub, and a lot of time the comedy clubs will make like specialty drinks, and they'll use this, they'll, like salt the rim and stuff.
What's it called?
So it's called Meat Dave All-Purpose Seasoning and Rub. And it was, when I first put it out, it was just called all-purpose rub. And what I realized is that people use it for a lot more than just doing barbecue. Like put it on their eggs, steak, chicken, whatever. Like people who aren't good cooks necessarily still enjoy using this. And so I rebranded it as seasoning and rub. And then that way, when at my shows, people are more likely to buy it too, because they're like, oh, I'm not a cook, but I do cook eggs every morning, and I could put it on that. And it's been fun, man. It's been fun selling this. It's a good connection to
getting
people.
into seasoning and being able to like mass deliver your flavor to people and see that gratification from folks that you can't cook for. That's got to be a cool aspect of it.
Well, it's cool, and I think that it's something that you could get into at some point too, because when people like watching your cooking videos, it's a connection you have with them, Yeah. And the question that I kept getting whenever I uploaded a cook video was people were asking, what kind of seasoning did you use? I don't know why. It's the hardest thing people have to wrap their brain around. And I just tell them, I'd go, look, it's salt and pepper. Like I throw some other stuff in from different things. I go, but the only thing you really need is, kosher salt and coarse pepper. That makes the best rub on earth. It's the thickness of it. Dude,
the coarse pepper is crucial. Getting the right coarseness of it.
Yeah, you can't go table fine. It's going to burn off, right?
Yeah.
So I kept telling people that, and then people still were like, can you send me a link? And I'm like, it's just at your grocery store. Like, so finally I was like, all right, man, I'm sending links to other people's rubs. I go, if people really want to buy a rub from me, I'll make one. So I made one.
Yeah. And you got to get the ratio right, all the thickness and stuff. All that shit gets pretty particular. I found myself buying some and then like grinding them down a little bit more because they were too thick and stuff. So that's nice that you got it set up like that.
Yeah. So do you lean into barbecue much, or are you more?
So I've leaned into barbecue pretty extensively, but I do everything like with just I do like the full wood fire tending cook, which is a pain in the ass. So I've only done like a few briskets, just because that day is so brutal, dude.
Yeah.
Tending a fire for like 15, 16 hours. You got to really like pick like around the 4th of July or something like that, where you get those loose days to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Well, but I love it. I do ribs a good amount.
Pellet smokers are a game changer. Sometimes I'll even like start something in my smoker, and then like if something comes up or if I have to sleep, then I'll switch it over to the pellet smoker, like a flip flop. But yeah, it's definitely a cheat code towards like regulating everything. But for me, it's fun when I have those days. 4th of July, I did the first time I ever did a full pig. And just sitting out there all day and tending the fire, wild, making sure you have enough logs, and then just.
Did you build your own pit for this shit?
No,
how do you do it?
No, I have a really big offset smoker that SG Metalworks made me out here in LA. I got a small pig that would fit into that, so I just did it in my offset.
Nice.
And I called about.
So I have a double offset like thing in my driveway right now. So I'm friends with a guy who has like a catering company, and he just parks it here and lets me use it when he's not doing it. It's perfect.
That's the best arrangement you can have.
Oh, for sure, dude. But the thing is he doesn't clean it for shit. So most of the time I get this thing and I have to fucking go to town on it to make sure all the wood's wet. There's wet ash in it, all this shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time I'll just find myself using a Weber grill, like the Weber regular kettle grill, and just setting it up as like a little miniature smoker.
Yeah, you just go indirect heat
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just because it's so quick.
Yeah. And that's the highest degree of difficulty to me with smoking anything, is just going indirect heat, turning a grill into a smoker. I mean, it's very doable, and if you get good at it, I'm sure it's not as hard, but that would give me anxiety.
Oh, dude, I think that's what I think I'm a masochist in a lot of ways. I'm like, oh, it gives me anxiety. Well, I guess I gotta fucking do it that way.
So
I've done the underground cook too before, dude. That was awesome.
Where you dug out a pit?
Yeah, I did a cochinita pibil, which is like the Mayan way of doing pork.
Yeah.
So you rub it down with all this shit, wrap it up in banana leaves. I put it in this metal container and then buried it for like 6 hours, and it just came out so tender and delicious.
Did you just do that in your yard in Jersey?
Yeah, I just I already had a fire pit that's in the ground, and I just dug out the bottom of the fire pit and just put this little casing in that with the fire, with all the coals concealed underneath it. It worked out well, dude. It came out great.
And that video's up on your social media?
I think it's up. Yeah, it's up somewhere. I did it a long time ago. I'll repost it though at some point. It's been weird, dude, because a lot of the shit when I posted it didn't do anything. And now that things are starting to get better and I'm starting to find my people, I'm reposting this shit and it's doing super well. So it's more of like a figuring out your timing.
Yeah. I've heard that,
huge aspect of it.
I've heard that repurposing older stuff is definitely like not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm shocked at it. It's almost disheartening in a way, though, because the new shit doesn't do as well as like some shit I made 2 years ago. I'm like, man, I thought I was fucking getting better this whole time. What's going on?
Man, the amount of stuff I have on my phone that I like shot a cook and then forgot to edit it and do anything with it. I'm just like,
yeah, same.
Like just right now telling you about that pig I did on 4th of July. I just realized, I go, man, I don't think I ever did anything with that footage. I need to go back and do it, you know? And
sometimes you're so hard on yourself at the time. You're like, I fucked up this one thing, and so I don't want to necessarily show it or whatever. So that happens a lot. And then I go back. I'm like, no, that was a great meal. I don't know what I did that for.
So you're in Jersey now, and you said you lived in San Diego for a little while. Any strong opinions on the food scene of New Jersey, East Coast versus San Diego, West Coast?
San Diego, you can't get good pizza or bagels. New Jersey, you can't really get good tacos and burritos. That's like the exclusives. So when I was there, I was focused on making good pizza, and now that I'm here, I'm focused on making good tacos.
How do you make your pizzas, man?
I got one of those like uni, just with wood. I get the natural wood fire ones, and then I just heat it up super, super hot so that the bottom is real hot and I can get a nice char on it. That's the hardest part, is making multiple pies and making sure that the bottom of the oven's super hot each time so that you get the crisp when you bite into it.
Yeah.
And then just I maintain like a sourdough starter. I don't know if you've gotten into the bread thing, Dave, but that's like barbecue, where it's like a long, really, really like what's the word I'm looking for? When you finish it, you just feel like great about it because it's been such an ordeal to get it done.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot. It's rewarding.
Yeah, it's super rewarding.
Yeah.
Jesus, that was an easy one. I flubbed that real fucking hard. But yeah, it's very rewarding, and that's like one of the things I got super into. So I was doing the sourdough pizzas for a little bit, and I still maintain my own starter and make bread and shit all the time. It's great.
Yeah, no, I thought about it when everyone was getting into it during the pandemic, but I never did. But I did get a pizza oven not too long ago. Really cool company called Forno Piombo. It was a California-based company. Sent me a badass pizza oven. And this thing is 1,000 pounds and it's just sitting in my front yard.
These are crazy.
Yeah, and so
I didn't know you got the hookup like this, bro.
Yeah, so I've cooked a couple times on it, but I think what I've done wrong is I haven't started the fire early enough, because usually it takes a couple hours for that thing to get really screaming hot. Does that sound about right?
Sure. Yeah. Do you have a temperature gun?
I do now. I didn't the first few times, and then one of my buddies came over who knows what he's doing with it. And he's like, he went on Amazon. He's like, I'm ordering you everything. He's like, you don't have the right tools.
Yeah.
And he ordered me everything I need, including that. Yeah.
750-ish is usually when I launch, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, I was.
But yeah, you have a bigger oven than I do. My shit's like a little shoebox in comparison. So it's
takes longer.
Yours probably takes a while.
Yeah, I want to do more and more with it. It's really cool, and it's a lot of fun, man. It's just like the neighbors come over, and we source the dough. Like the local pizza joint in our town sells the dough, because so many people have pizza ovens. Like it's like, kind of a thing, And so I'd like to get to the point where I'm making my own dough and doing all that stuff.
Dude, are you starting to feel yourself get a feel with the dough like you do with meats and shit?
Yeah, it's funny because my neighbors usually come over and we all like chip in with the process, and it's like the one thing that I'm totally cool with handing off, you know.
Agreed.
Until I get a little more comfortable with it because my buddy's really into it and goes for it. So I'm more the guy that's got
he's throwing them in the air and shit.
But I'm more the dude who I like having the big spatula. I like being the guy who turns the pizza in the oven. And like looking in there.
Dude, the peeler.
But you know what I found out was the first time we did it, I woke up the next day totally wrecked because I wasn't burning the fire very clean. And then we started way too early. And then I kept shoving my face in there to look at make sure I wasn't burning it. And I was just like taking smoke to the face, you know? And I'm like, you know, and running my offset on barbecue, like I'm pretty used to it now. I know, open the thing, kind of back up, let the smoke clear, don't breathe right in. Like you get like a little routine, you know? But the pizza oven, I was just like shoving my face in the little igloo, like, is the pizza in there? You know? And it really just wrecked my lungs.
Dude, and that combined with there's like baker's lung or some shit is like a condition where the flour actually fucks you up too.
Really? Like
so like a lot of bakers, like this guy who's a master like pizza guy. I forget his name. Chris Bianco is his name. He runs like one of the best pizzerias in the US. He had a serious lung condition from just working around bread and pizza and shit all the time. God. It's wild.
That would be just my luck that you know, healthy as a horse, and then they're like, oh, you got the baker's lung.
Yeah, dude. I've been smoking spliffs for like a decade, but the baking is what's gonna screw me.
Donuts took me down. It runs in our family.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, this is your parents.
Dude,
parents tried to warn you.
Dude, so one time I felt like such a nerd. I shoot video for like a local comedy club here in New Jersey. I just go and like do it in exchange for like tickets, just to go see shit.
Bro,
I've gotten to know.
Get me booked, bro. Let's hang out.
Dude, it's what I can talk to him. I can talk to the fella. It's an awesome club. It's like, it's going to be the best club in New Jersey within like a year over the stress. It's up and coming. It's been going on for like 5 years. It's called the Comedy Dojo.
I love the name already.
The Dojo of Comedy in Morris Plains.
All right.
But I saw like, I've seen a few good people there, like Joe List, Mark Norman, Ari Schaefer was just there. But I'm a huge fan of Mark Norman's comedy.
Yeah,
and
Mark's great.
And the guy, the dude who runs the place, Mike, he's a really nice guy. We talk food and shit all the time like this. I was like, you got me these tickets. I'm going to make you a loaf of bread. So I usually either make bread in 2s or 4s. So I made 4 loaves. And I was like, I got an extra one. I'm going to bring it to Mark and just see if I'll just give it to him. I got all nervous though. And like basically
you just like threw it at him.
Yeah. Like I'm like I went with my folks and my lady, they were all left already. So I'm like, all right, bye. But I felt like such a fucking nerd. But dude, like, you know, with barbecue, after you work on something for a long time, you want to know if the person even ate. I just still don't even know if he ate it or not. It was just like, this fucking guy was up to some shit. Oh, you know him?
I'll ask him. Here, wait. Let me see if he picks up.
That's fucking awesome.
Wait, hold on. Let's see.
But dude, I felt like such a weirdo. I just get so camera shy. I don't want to bother anybody at shit like that.
So this is what you got to do. You got to get them to. Do they serve food at that comedy club?
Yeah.
So this is what I've done with some clubs. I'll book a date there, and you and I will collaborate, and we'll cook like some pulled pork or something like that. And then they can add the pulled, like, so if they sell like nachos, they can add our pulled pork to their nachos, like that kind of thing.
Dude, and down whenever.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do a little food collab, and then I'll headline the show.
Dude, yeah. You can do the pork. I'll make some fucking rolls for it, and we can do sandwiches if you want.
Perfect. I love that. So what are you? Because I'm having such a good time chatting. Like the time's flying by. I don't want to like.
I feel the same, bro. I just. Dude, so just watching your stuff, I had a feeling that we were very like-minded in terms of our approach to like food and what we value and shit. So I appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, of course, man. So tell me, I want to make sure I get this in before I forget and we run out of time. So tell me some of your favorite recipes and videos you've done. Maybe it'll tweak someone's interest and make them go dig through your stuff.
So one of my favorites is I made cheesesteaks like I was the third guy in Philly who nobody knew of.
Okay.
So I basically went on and talked shit on the other two guys like I was this bitter third guy who wasn't getting any attention. But I also, in all my videos, while I'm doing this comedic aspect, I always try to put in like an actual recipe that somebody can follow if they're watching hard enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. I made ribs as a serial killer, and I was basically
I saw that one. That one was funny.
Dude, that one was fun. I felt a little dirty afterwards, but it was fun. And then
walk people through that one, making ribs as a serial killer.
So basically I had to act like I wasn't using human meat. So the whole time I keep calling them pig ribs and like overcompensating for the fact that I was killing and I killed somebody. And I was like, it's so funny because my lady, like I mentioned, has her job, and I'm like, babe, can you come over here and do like a muffle like you're in somebody's basement being held? So she comes over while I'm recording. And she's like,
you're like, shut up. So then, anyways,
yeah, and I'm like,
at this point, you have to let the ribs rest.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, sorry, my dog is crying, and I have this weird voice.
I can't tell you how many times just in general when I'm cooking barbecue I feel like because you're opening up the package, there's blood everywhere, you're ripping off membranes, you're putting those disposable black gloves on, like you gotta get the knives all around. I've always thought it would be cool to have a celebrity cooking show and get OJ to be a guest and just and just see how long into it he's like, I can't do any of this. Like, you know,
everybody's wearing leather gloves instead of the silicone ones.
How to slice a brisket with the juice.
Yeah, pull up. You have the coolers in the back of your Bronco. Yeah, that's a good one, dude.
And then I saw another one where you were cooking as a hostage, I think, right? You were all tied up.
Yeah. So those are fun too, dude, because I don't like take off I zip tie myself actually for these, like tight. And so by the time I'm done, I'm like fucking, my wrists are all burned. Like I was really somebody's hostage. Yeah. But they're fun because like there's a degree of it that putting yourself in that situation actually makes you act like that. So it's like I don't want to be a fucking, but like I'm an idiot. So I'm not like a fucking Jared Leto being out there. I'm just like a guy who's like, oh, what if I was tied up?
Well, I think that you need to make sure that your girl doesn't go run errands too. So when you're done, someone's there to actually like cut you loose.
Dude, so last time I had to cut myself loose, I was like, I actually had to escape this one for real. My brother was helping me. He's like, I got shit to do.
They find you hours later and they're like, yeah, he slit his wrists. Like, what? Doesn't look like it was intentional though. Like,
he tried to open his cuffs on a meat slicer and he offed himself.
Yeah, whoops. Just leave a note. Can someone upload the video for me?
Yeah, dumb ways to die. My most viewed video ever.
Well, I love it, man. Like I said, it's the way I need to be thinking, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to steal your essence by any means, but I do want to be inspired by it. And I want.
Dude, you're hilarious, and regardless, I think you could definitely do it. Like it's just in terms of fluffing whatever recipe you're going to give people with little bits of yourself and comedy, and you would crush it. Your stand-up's very funny.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Well, let's get that going in Jersey, man. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to do something with you in that way. And I'm gonna try. I've been ruminating on this for a while. I did do a comedy tour a while back where I did 2 months of comedy in barbecue restaurants. And so I was more collabing with the restaurants, you know, and I want to do another round of that, but I want to do like a tour, but more where I'm just collaborating specifically with another creator or pitmaster, you know, or personality, I guess is the way to put it.
I would love that, man. I've thought a lot about doing live demos and trying to incorporate this stuff as well. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
So I want to have just like the whole thing set up, but it's instead of being like Dave at Dave at this barbecue restaurant, I want to be like Dave, New Jersey with Cody Tries Stuff, Dave, Memphis with Malcolm Reed, Dave, Napa Valley with Chuck's Flavor Train, like do a whole thing like that, you know?
Be awesome, dude. So always keep me in mind and keep me in touch with all this stuff, dude. I'm down to try stuff. But yeah, I'm always looking to expand and try new shit and figure out a new venture. Dude, stand up, I give you all the respect in the world for doing that. The second I have it's easy behind the camera because it's just me in my home. When you have all those eyes on you, you can feel it. Like I get like hot feeling it in the past when I've even done like a speech and shit. So I respect your ability to keep it cool and keep it funny when you're doing that. It's very impressive.
Well, yeah, we're basically heroes. Not everyone can do what we do. We're very special people.
Firemen,
It's funny. I totally have a hero complex. Like I would love to be a fireman or a police officer or something like that, but I don't have the drive to do that kind of training or sacrifice.
Yeah. And I'm also like an asshole. So if I hold the door open for somebody and they don't say thank you, I'm like, what the fuck? Could you imagine saving their life and getting that treatment? I'd be thinking about that shit for years.
Okay. Mark Norman, I was going to call him and ask him.
Oh, no worries, dude. Honestly, I feel so weird about even talking about this shit. It's the first time I've ever even like posted or said anything about it, just because I felt like such a fucking nerd.
Okay, wait here. With your permission, I'm going to ask him if he ever ate the bread. Okay.
Yeah, please
right?
do. Because I think I made a joke about. I'm like, don't worry, I didn't jizz in it. I wrote on the note or something, so that might have scared him off.
Hold on, let me see. It was in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, at the Dojo Comedy.
Okay. I'm interviewing a friend named Cody, and he gave a loaf of bread to you at a comedy club in New Jersey, period. I just want to know if you ever ate the bread or was he too creepy?
That's
and you had to avoid
the correct way to phrase this, bro. Because I gave it to him, and he just goes, "Whoa, a lot of hair." Because of my fucking mane, he goes, "Whoa, a lot of hair." I go, "You should see my pubes."
All right. I said I'm interviewing a friend named Cody, and gave him and he gave you a loaf of bread at a comedy club in New Jersey. Just want to know if you ever ate the bread, or was he too creepy and you had to avoid it? Let's see if he answers that.
I appreciate it, dude. Because once you make some food and you give it to somebody, you gotta see it.
Yeah,
bro. It's like somebody taking a slice of your fucking brisket and going out back, and you not being able to be like, "Yo, was it juicy? Was it great?"
With things like barbecue and bread and stuff that takes a long time and it's a real labor of love. Like that's the payoff. The payoff is watching someone enjoy it and knowing that they enjoyed it.
For sure. It's like setting off a firework and then closing your eyes when it's blowing up.
Yeah, I like that.
The fuck?
I'm so excited. This is going to be the end of we're going to see what he says, and then we're going out. He's thinking about it.
Uh-oh. I did it nice, dude. I put rosemary and sage salt on it and shit. It was some good bread.
All right. Well, he's on a flight to San Francisco, so we'll see. We'll give him a minute. We'll give him a minute. Well, anything else coming up, man, that you want to plug or that the people need to know about before we wrap up?
So I feel like growing my audience on a child harvesting app for children has been a bad move. So I'm starting to switch over to Instagram and YouTube because I've met a lot more cool like people like you over there that are into the comedy stuff a little bit more than just the food stuff. And I like finding both ends, and I love hanging out with comedians, going to a comedy club and hanging out with folks who don't have such a ability to be offended about anything and can let you kind of fly off is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Feels like a different time going to them. So it's been cool.
Totally, man. Well, everyone should follow you on both platforms, at Cody Tries Stuff, CODY Tries Stuff. And then are you putting stuff up on YouTube much?
Yeah, I'm about to start on long form on YouTube, so horizontal, and I'm going to try to do a little bit more like high production value sketch comedy type stuff over there, along with the recipes. So
very cool.
Hoping that it goes well.
Well, let's try to get a collab going, man, and I'll come out and see you on the East Coast,
Dude.
and then I'll definitely have you back on the podcast. I feel like we just scratched the surface of getting to know each other today, so
I would love that, Dave. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure. This is like my first podcast like this I've been on, and you brought it in right, dude. It's awesome chatting with you.
Well, there you go. And if it makes you feel good and warm inside, Mark said, "Ha ha ha! I ate it on the ride home."
Fuck yeah, buddy. That does make me feel warm inside. I'm going to be walking on fucking clouds for the rest of the day after that one, Dave.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
bro. Mark Norman ate your bread.
Yeah, dude. That loose end in my head, tied up, baby.
We're making miracles happen on the Meet Dave podcast.
Dude, thank you. Seriously, that's fucking awesome.
Cody, you're the man, bro.
You are, Dave. It's been a pleasure. And yo, mi casa, su casa, I got a smoker for you that you can just fucking have at whenever you're on the East Coast.
Done, son.
Come on over.
You just want me to clean your friend's smoker.
No, it'll be clean when you get here. I promise. I won't scumbag you like that.